Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Reporter's Notebook. For those of you who have not watched Reporter's Notebook before, it's where we get a chance towards the end of our days to sit down with one of our reporters or maybe someone else here in the news station and chat to them a little bit about what their day-to-day life looks like working here at a news station, go through kind of their day-to-day responsibilities, how they got into this career, and kind of just give you guys a behind-the-scenes look of what it's like to work at WNCT, work as a reporter in general. So today we are joined by somebody special. We are joined by Miss Jennifer Blake. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Jennifer is joining us here in the digital studio today. Jennifer is one of our producers. So like I said, we're, trying to show you guys, the different sides of the newsroom. You guys, you see the reporters, you see the anchors on TV, but there are so many other people behind the scenes here at the station that make the news happen, that make it live for you guys to enjoy. And Jennifer is one of those people. So we've had some other producers on here before, but Jennifer is new to our segment. So Jennifer, talk to us a little bit about how you got started in producing. Work us back to, how you got started in all this.
Okay, so backtracking to college, I am a major in media studies with a concentration in production technology. So what that taught me was all the behind the scenes of reporting, basically. I learned how to produce, how to edit, how to direct, actually learned how to be on the camera as an anchor and reporter as well. But I applied to producing jobs because I figured I had more of a educational backup behind me, and I had more experience in that. So I applied for that. But my goal is to be a reporter one day, just like Emily and many others here at WNCT. And yeah, I'm super excited. So this is awesome.
Very cool. So this is a stepping stone for you, definitely. I know you and me have talked about this outside of work. So I know that you want to, you're looking to be a reporter, you're looking to be an anchor as well. So that's super cool. And you're getting I think the best firsthand experience in my opinion, because you're learning everything right at once. And you're learning all the background stuff, how everything works. So then once you do get into that, different position, you're like, oh, I totally get this because I know, how hard it is for everyone else. I understand the way that the whole production works. So I think that's really cool that you're getting started that way, because I think that's a great way to learn the industry and just really understand the way that these shows get put together, because it is kind of complex for people who don't know. So you're one of our producers that actually you do dayside shifts and nighttime shifts. So talk to people who don't know, a lot of people don't know that we have shifts like that. So talk to us a little bit about kind of what's the difference between a morning and nightside shift and how that kind of looks.
Awesome. So yes, night side, I work when needed and mainly on the weekends. And the weekends I produce the show. So I put together the stories and what order they're going to go in during the shows. Our shows are at 5, 5:30, and 6, and 10 o'clock and 11. And that's during the week. And on the weekend, we have it at 6, 10, and 11. So all before the shows start, I put together stories from reporters, stories from other stations that are our sister stations, and we put it together in what's called a rundown. And I put in scripts, I put in timings, I put in lower thirds, everything that you see on a show, any graphics, that's what we producers do. We create them. And during the day, it's a little bit easier because I just produce, and on the weekends and night shift, I edit as well. So that means I find the videos and I put them into an editing system and send them to the show so you're able to see them. And during the day, I have a lot more help, or I have more community around me because it's the day shift. There's more people here during the day, and obviously with any job most of the time. Mm-hmm. And for a night shift, it's just maybe about 5 or 6 people, but we're able to run the show and it's awesome. It's just a little more maybe lonesome, if you want to say, if you like the community, but because everybody here at WNCT is great, so why do I not want to be around them? But it's fun, both shifts, and it's a blessing to be able to learn how to do each shift because, like Emily said earlier, I'm able to take this with me to my next stepping stone, and I'll have an advantage over other reporters with them not knowing how to say edit or actually produce. I'll have the experience of everything. So when I go out and to be a reporter, hopefully one day, I'll have that experience behind me on my back too.
That's so awesome. Yeah. And so, what would you say is your favorite part of producing? Because you guys have a lot of different kind of little ways that you put all the shows together. So like you said, you guys are doing graphics. You guys are looking up stories from other stations, national stories. You guys are writing some of your own stories. So what's your favorite aspect of that?
My favorite aspect is probably when the show is airing and there's live shots and there's transitions between them and I see it come together, because I can see it on a rundown on the computer and see what order it's going to go to, picture what it's going to seem like. But on air, it could seem different than what I have in my head if something goes wrong, if something with the controls go wrong in any way, shape, or form, or if the camera goes out, or weather. There's so many things in the news that can affect, which also is part of it that I like, because I'm consistently having to change things in the rundown because things just don't always go as planned, or we get more information, new breaking news. And it's fun to always be on my toes, but be able to have a final product being like, woo, I did that. Like, we did that as a team. And afterwards being like, yes, killed it. Great job. That's just such an accomplishing feeling.
Oh, it's awesome. And we love, we have our little group chat. So everyone's like, great show, everyone. That was awesome. Your live hit was beautiful. That was amazing. So it's awesome. Everybody here, is super encouraging towards each other. And we all really work together to make this, these shows come together, which is so awesome. And especially for, local stations like us, we're a smaller market. So a lot of the people that work here are, this is their first job out of college. Maybe their second job out of college. So it's great for all of us working together, learning together, and just kind of figuring out the ways of this business, because there's a lot of aspects to it.
Yes, definitely. This is technically my 6th month now going in being a producer, because I graduated from Radford University in August of 2019, and then I started this job here at WNCT in Greenville on March 16th. So it was a really quick turnaround, and I'm blessed and thankful for that, especially during these crazy times with coronavirus and everything else going on. But the teamwork is really what makes the dream work, and the reason we have these shows and why they look so great, and even these digital shows, is because of the teamwork and everything behind the scenes that you all don't get to see. So it's super cool being able to see the behind the scenes, especially because when I was a kid, I grew up watching the news every morning. It was a normal thing for me, and now I'm like, oh, that's how that is. That's what that's for. That makes so much sense, and it's super cool. It's mind-blowing every day. It's great.
Oh, it's so awesome. I love this job. I love where we work, our coworkers. It's a great environment to be in for us, for sure. So the last question I'll ask you for today for our viewers is, if somebody was interested in, say, getting into producing, getting into working in the news, or they're just kind of more interested about, different jobs here that they could have at a news station, what's some advice that you would give to some of those people interested in producing or behind the scenes work?
My first tip of advice would be to reach out to anybody who is in the field already, or even your local news station, and be like, hey, I'm interested. Is there any way I can talk to somebody about what this consists of, how to get my foot in the door? And definitely try to get as much experience as you can on your own. So put together your own shows, maybe use an Excel sheet and look for some content and put it together, do your own little show, and just see how it flows and what you're comfortable with, and just explore. And that's the best way, is doing your own experience, and yourself reaching out is the best way you're going to learn.
Definitely. And that is really awesome advice. That is actually some of the best advice my dad always gave me is, when you're applying for a job, you could have, great education, background, and you walk into a job interview and it's you, and then there's somebody else who, maybe doesn't have that educational experience, doesn't have that background, but they took their free time, a student right out of college, took their free time and was like, I'm really passionate about this. I'm going to go design my own website. I'm going to, start working on these things my own, even though, I may not know exactly what I'm doing, but taking the time on your own to put those things together and shows that you're passionate, shows that you're interested, as opposed to someone who's like, yep, I can do it. I got it. And someone who's really passionately working on it to show. So that's some of the best advice that my dad gave me. So I love that you said that as well. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this reporter's notebook for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me and Jennifer today. And we also here at WNCT want to wish Jennifer a very happy birthday because today is her birthday. Woohoo!
Thanks. I appreciate that. Love you all.
So everybody make sure to wish Jennifer a happy birthday today on social media. And thank you guys so much for joining us.